Hello there everyone, I'm Nick Yakabuchi and welcome back to RealScreenReviews.com. And our next film is the drama Charlie St. Cloud. This film opened nationwide on Friday, July 30th, 2010, and it stars Zac Efron, Charlie Tahan, Amanda Crew, and Donnell Logue. This feature comes to us from director Burr Steers, who also directed Zac Efron in last year's 17 Again. This time out though, they up the ante and take on a much more serious tale involving the loss of loved ones, and a graduating step for our lead to see if he's able to handle the reins of a major Hollywood release that is entitled High School Musical. Our story opens by introducing us to the very close brothers of Charlie and Sammy St. Cloud. Even though there is a bit of an age difference between them, they seem to be as close as siblings can be. They sail along the water near the Pacific North Coast residence that they live in, and Charlie seems to be an exceptional sailor, having earned a full scholarship in that sport to a major collegiate institution. In addition to being on the water, Charlie and Sammy do normal brother things, such as play catch and cause trouble. They live an almost ordinary life till one night when the boys decide to sneak out, and while just waiting at a red light, they're rear-ended and pushed into the line of oncoming traffic where they become part of a major accident. Charlie is resuscitated in the ambulance by the EMT played by Ray Liotta, but we learn right away that Sammy wasn't so lucky. Our two brothers made a pact to meet at the same certain spot each day at sundown so Charlie would be able to help his younger brother practice baseball. Now, even though Sammy has passed away, Charlie still goes there every day at the same time and almost interacts with what can only be described as Sammy's spirit. 5 years elapses in our story, and we soon figure out that Charlie has passed on his scholarship in order to stay in his hometown and remain true to his brother's promise. He works at the cemetery as a groundskeeper and also seems to be able to interact with others that have passed away. The rest of the townspeople think that Charlie suffers from some sort of mental defect, but it is simple survivor's guilt in the fact that he is alive and his brother is gone now. Enter the very pretty, incredible actress Amanda Crew as Tess. Tess is a young lady that went to high school with Charlie, and now their paths cross once again while she is passing through town on her journey sailing around the world. They share a common bond because Tess has lost her father recently, and she is determined to help Charlie get over this remorse that has all but consumed him. Tess becomes much more than a confidant. She is Charlie's love interest and a major influence on him being able to begin the healing process because she finally gives Charlie something else to live for. Well, people, Zac Efron has already started to mature, and I was very, very impressed with the wide range of emotion that he showed in Charlie St. Cloud. He has done everything in his power to not follow the typical Hollywood strategy by passing on big musical projects such as the upcoming Footloose, and I cannot commend him enough for this. Instead, he has started his own production company to develop meaningful scripts, and he is well on his way to stepping in as the next Leonardo DiCaprio or Matt Damon. Zac Efron won't be a leading man someday because, in my opinion, he already is one today. This movie is very touching, it's very meaningful, and it's very emotional. For some viewers, Charlie St. Cloud might even bring difficult feelings to the surface in a very welcomed way. I could even see some people finding comfort or solace with this story given to us. This film made me remember good times, times that were worth remembering, even though I had hidden those thoughts away years before. This is truly a tender story that should include a pack of Kleenex with every ticket. And where I believe that a lot of confusion will come into play with Charlie St. Cloud is when people describe this project as a movie about death, and nothing could be further from the truth. This movie is a celebration about life and the way that we choose to live it. It's about how we get up every day and face the reality that close friends and loved ones have passed away and they won't be coming back. And it couldn't be more about the healing process and how we must reach the point of acceptance and just be able to let go and move on. Now, other critics have given this movie mediocre to poor reviews, and I answer that with, I don't know what you could possibly want from a movie. I'd like to tell some of these other critics to stop paying attention to the lighting, the shadows, the cinematography, and the sound mixing, and concentrate on this wonderful story about human beings being human. You know, Charlie loses his brother in this story, and 5 years elapses in the tale. And I myself, coincidentally, lost a very close friend of mine 5 years ago to this specific day. It doesn't get any easier, but part of Sammy St. Cloud lives every day in Charlie St. Cloud, and part of my friend John lives in me every day, and the others that so cared for him, and that can never be taken away from any of us. This film explores feelings and emotions rarely tackled by a big-budget studio film, and it succeeds from start to finish. A solid 3 stars out of 4, and remember people, I'm not always right, only when it comes to the movies. And thank you very much for your attention.